This is going to be an update slash demo video. Since September, when my last video went out, I've just been building app stuff. So in September, I had said I'm going back to the initial idea of the like double dating app for couples, and so for the last 2 months, that's all I've been doing. Um, I rebranded this thing, so um, double date is what we're calling it now instead of pairs. Had to make a new LLC, and I thought a new name couldn't hurt. Because pairs, you have to infer what the app is for. If we name it double date like that, then it's more clear what the app does up front. Um, and so yeah, let me just walk you through what I've done because I don't think I've actually walked through an app on Bubble yet, and I think I built this one from scratch. So uh, I'll show you how I've been building, basically. Um, so in Bubble, this is like the Bubble editor, right? When you're trying to build a mobile app on Bubble, they say you build it in one page, meaning you can usually build lots of pages in here for a website, but I just have one page called app, and then every screen that would be a page on a mobile app is just an element in the Bubble thing, and you hide and show them based on conditions. So you'll see here, like this is one page, and I have all these layers. These are all individual pages. So that's a page, that's a page, that's a page. If you unhide these, you can kind of see how like they're all stacked on top of each other, which is not good, doesn't look great. But only one of these is visible at a time, so when you're on your phone, you'd only ever see one of these. That's how everybody on the forums and in Reddit threads and whatever says to build mobile apps on Bubble, so that's what I did. I've got one top level container, and then all the pages inside of it are being shown based on the page's custom state. So if you click on this, here's my app. You can see I've got this custom state called nav that I just use for navigation. Page options it's an option set. So in Bubble, you've got these option sets, right? I've got one called page options. These are all the pages on my app. And basically, if the right option, I should say this, if the option here, if like the custom state option is home, then it's going to show you the home page. If it's the zero, then it's going to show you the zero page, which is like pre-login. If the state is login, it's login, right? So because this custom state can only be one thing, only one page will ever be visible at a time. So that's how we're doing that. Other than that, everything is pretty straightforward. I mean, you're just hiding and showing things. Navigation's kind of funny, but outside that, it hasn't been too bad. I have a navigation bar also. That's its own thing. So the bottom navigation bar is just another group that's hidden based on certain parameters, which is pretty easy to figure out if you research the forums and do all that stuff. I think I have like, what is it, 1, 2, 3, I've got maybe 15 pages in here. I don't know how many it is, and I'm too lazy to count. And the floating groups actually do work when you're doing mobile stuff. So if you've ever wondered, you actually can use these. I use it for like cropping images or splash page. If you're gonna view a profile, you'll view it in a floating group because these are like reusable things. So instead of making a page for that, I use a floating group. The reason I do that is I use pages where navigation is straightforward. So when you're on this page, you have two actions. You can either create the account or you can log in, right? When you log in, you're either going to log in or go back. So navigation is fairly linear for all of these pages. This profile view, however, is less straightforward. So when you're on the home page, you can access a profile view. When you're on your chats page, you can access a profile view. And so a back button doesn't make much sense because how do you know what you're navigating back to? Like once I open the profile view, if I came from the chat, I can't go back to the chat. But this way, using the floating group just opens it up on top of your website, and then I can close this page and not have to navigate. It just does it itself. So a little tip there. Floating groups come in handy. Yeah, I think I described in my last video, or one of my last videos, first thing I had to do was get all the backend stuff set up. So under data types, you have to like make data types. This is a very, very basic app, so there's not a ton. You've got users, preferences is like, I only want to see other profiles who are from 20 to 30, so that's in there, that are like X miles away from my house, 10, 20 miles away. You've got chats, you've got messages, interactions is how I'm doing the matching algorithm, so all that complicated stuff. I did all this first. Then the last month I built all the pages, so just designing pages and building out pages. And then I'd say actually I think that probably took a month to do that, with the workflows too. So after you design the pages, then it's like, if I click on a button, what's it gonna do? So I've got all of these things. So on my home page, what can I click on my home page? What does it do? The matching algorithm, how does that work? Here's just like, right, like it's just all the backend stuff. So tying it all together. That probably took a month, 5 weeks maybe. The second half of this last maybe 2 months has been trying to get it on the App Store, and that's been a process. So I think I mentioned this in another video. I'm losing track of what I've talked about, but the mobile developer for Bubble is not great. Like it's not that good. Two main reasons. One, you can't use plugins. So like I have all these plugins, right, that I need to run my app, and I could not design it with those plugins. You'd like put the plug on the page, and then when you try and test it, the mobile platform for Bubble just like errored out. So that was one big hit. The second big hit is I need certain page types. I'll show you this one real quick. This matches page. This container right here is just a list of all of your new matches. So if you match with somebody new, it's gonna pop up here. And then once you decide to chat with that person, then it goes down into here. And all of a sudden you're gonna have all of your inbox of chats going down. And the mobile platform, you can't have a horizontal repeating group and a vertical repeating group on the same page for whatever reason. I just need that. Like I can't get around that. I have to have that on the app. It also is missing tons of functionality between like navigation styles, where it's like animating between pages, and there's a whole list of stuff that I didn't like about it. So what we're doing is we're building this as the web app on one page, and then we're gonna wrap it, right? So that's how we're doing this. So yeah, I spent maybe 5 weeks building this out, getting everything working. Then it was on to wrapping. After a lot of research, I decided I was going to go with Zeroqode. So this is the service that I decided on. I think they say it's a gold agency on Bubble. It seemed like it was the best one to go with, just because they have the best reputation, and I didn't want to hit any snags my first time. So this thing down here, Convert to Bubble Native, this is what I used primarily just for push notifications. So I had to do that. I'll walk through how this works really quick, because I haven't seen this on YouTube yet, and I thought this would be helpful to somebody. There's 3 things you got to do. First, you have to buy the plugin. So this thing right here, you buy the plugin and you put it on your Bubble app. So this plugin here, Air Native plugin by Zeroqode, you buy this. It's either $100 or $10 a month. I just paid the 100. And then you have 2 other things you could do. You have to get the app wrapped, and they call that a build, and then you can get it published to the App Store. So there's those 2 things you need to do. I only paid to have it wrapped right now. I'm going to try and publish it to the App Store myself, and I didn't want to pay $500 extra to do that. So I just paid $300 to get it wrapped. And so yeah, that's like was the next phase. And here's how this goes. So once you order the build, I think you just fill in your card information right here. Yeah, so you got the credit card information. You fill it in, you pay for it. They send you an email saying, great, it worked. Then you have to go to your profile. So here's my profile, right? Well, my account, there we go. This is not important, that's not important. It's this Air Native thing. So once you've ordered it, it shows up here as an order. And you have to hit this update details and fill out all of this information, like your URL for the website, you have to fill that out. You have to fill out your Apple and your Google Play Store information. So if you have an Apple developer account and a Google Play Store developer account, I don't know what they call it, you fill out like your team ID, your app IDs, like you just fill out a ton of information. I probably should just scroll through this. I'll blur it out later. One Signal, if you're using push notifications, you need to fill out your One Signal app ID, icons like your logo or whatever, your splash screen, how that's going to look. You have to add these people to your account so they can do stuff for you. The Apple one you have to have as if you have an organization developer account, you can do this. I have a personal developer account, so I've actually had them log in with my username and password and get it on my store that way. But Google, you just add these as admins, right? So they can do stuff for you. All of your team name, your team ID, all that jazz. So once you do that, you hit, this initially said build, but now it says rebuild because I can rebuild it. But once you do all of that, then they get to work. It took us a week because we had to like sync together to get so that they could log into my account and do all the work for me. So it took about a week. Usually it takes them like 24 hours or whatever. And once they get it, I'll just show you on the Apple side what it looks like. Okay, so here's my Apple developer account. Like I said, I was an individual, but when you go to the, if you go to the App Store Connect, there you go. This is the app that they built for me. Ignore this red thing. That was my fault, not their fault. And you can go to Test Flight, and you can actually download Test Flight and then download, I think mine was under internal testing, under friends. Yeah, here you go. So this shows me and that I've downloaded the app, right? And you can send like a link to friends and they can download Test Flight and then download the build itself. And Zeroqode did all of that for me. So they got it onto my App Store Connect account. I think they submitted this build for me and got it approved and then sent me an email back and said, you're good to go. From this point, you can download it, you can test it. I could even show you real quick what it looks like. So like, here's the app. There's no users right now, but I have it on my phone through Test Flight, which is really cool. So that took like a week to do. All of this stuff took a week to do. Overall, I could recommend Zeroqode. They were really easy to work with. They get it done. It's fairly straightforward. It's an easy process. You just got to make sure you got your ducks in a row first. And I think the biggest thing is making sure you have your Apple developer and your Google developer account and your One Signal account and your Firebase account. Like you got to have all of that ready so that once you pay, you can add them as admins to all of those accounts. And then you'll be good to go after that. Okay, so with that said, that was probably a week or two before Thanksgiving that this all got done. The last 2 weeks have just been testing and debugging. I've had to get push notifications set up. You can see this one, the pull to refresh, like a way to refresh the screen. And mobile, it's usually you pull down, so I've had to get that. Detecting activity and inactivity is like a pretty important thing. So I definitely want to do that. So it's just been a lot of testing and fixing stuff because once I got it on mobile, there were a lot of things that didn't work. I'll show you one of them. So if I go here to, this is like just a demo. If you were to click X and pass, you see how kind of glitches right there? You like hit X and it passes. It's just glitching in between each user. And that's not great. That's not a good user experience. So I've been trying to fix that for this entire week. Still don't have a good answer to it just because I'm having to load the page and load like 100 users. And then every time you pass or like you're switching to the next user and switching is glitchy. So that's been an absolute headache. But again, we're here. It's been, September, October, we're at the end of November, almost in December now. But I finished the app, which feels really, really good. I've added push notifications to the app, which also feels really, really good. And it's like kind of on the App Store, almost ready to submit. So I've made a lot of progress in the last few months with the app and just personally being able to like push through problems. I'd say the biggest thing that I learned in the last 2 months was how to like make a list of things and then just do it. It used to be that I would build the app in whatever way my brain, like whatever was top of mind, I would just do that. So I would think, oh, I should build this page, and then I'd build it, and I think it should have this feature, then I'd build that feature, and not realize that there's like other pages and other things that, like, the whole app is connected, right? So there's lots of things that have to get done, and it was really messy to build it that way. But this time I did it the right way, which was build the backend database structure first. Okay, now build screens and mock up what the screens are going to look like. Okay, then go build those screens. Okay, now we make sure we have all the buttons there first, and now let's connect all of the workflows on the back end so that when you click on things, it actually does what it's supposed to. And you never get it right the first time, so I've had to do a ton of testing and fixing things along the way, and that's been the last 2-3 weeks, like I said, has been just testing and getting things fixed. But overall, this app works right now. It's a little glitchy, but it functions. So once I get the glitchiness fixed, we're going to publish it to the App Store, and then go from there. But yeah, that's been the last 2 months. It's been exhausting, and I have wanted to give up and quit about every other day. So I'll make another video on that later. But yeah. I'm also going to make a video on the push notifications because I feel like that would be helpful. So if you're doing mobile app stuff and want to know how to do push notifications, or if you're using Bubble and want to know how to do push notifications, check, I guess, my next video for that. Other than that, it's been a grind, but it's been satisfying, and it's been good to watch this, at least this phase of like building an app kind of close out, and now we're in like the next phase, which is figure out how we're going to publish the app, and then figure out how to get users and how to start marketing. So phase 1 is almost done, and we're on to like phase 2 and phase 3, which is really exciting. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I've been doing, and thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.